on my sweet fit. You know it's a vibe, just tune into my frequency. You'll put on a smile, we gon' have a good time long as you're here with me.
You're listening to the Uncovered Podcast. It's a show full of conversations on relationships and marriage that will challenge our traditions, our beliefs, and our outcomes, ultimately leading us to a place of clarity, of thought, and restored hope. Thank you for joining us. My name is Will, and with me, I have the one and only Eddie Rivera.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
What's going on? Eddie's our marriage therapist and family counselor. And with us today, we have a special guest. He's in the house right here, the one and only Pastor D.
Hi, Pastor D.
God bless everybody.
What's
Hello.
going on, guys?
Hey.
Man, today's a special edition of Uncovered. This podcast is going to be amazing, man. Dr. E, what do you got for us, man? What are we gonna throw down on?
Well, since we got some time away from the ladies.
Yeah, man.
Right, as you can see. I want to talk about we are men. So we're going to have a man cave session here.
I love it.
Right. So we've been faced with so many different questions from a man's perspective on life, on things that are both positive and things that are frustrating at the same time. And I'm passionate about relationships, as y'all know. And I wanted to take this moment in time to really not cover it fully because it's impossible,
Right.
But talk about the aspect of being a man, the aspect of or defining or the definition of what a man is. Everyone has a different definition because everybody's life story. Experience is different. So my upbringing takes me to a certain definition and a viewpoint of what a man is. Yours can be totally different, and yet we're both men. Yours can be even different than ours, but yet here we are, men, productive men in society, doing what we're passionate to do in different fields. We become great providers, great fathers, but yet our viewpoint on what a man is can be different. So I wanted to just kind of explore that, dissect it a little bit. And we can start with Pastor D because he's...
Yeah. Let me ask the first question, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What's the biggest challenge that men face nowadays?
I think for me and the men that I minister to, the men that I talk to, whether it is friends, co-workers, the men that I personally work with, is identity. Identity.
Okay.
For me personally, from what I can see, and I think the reason that I'm noticing that is the main thing that I'm noticing that is a challenge is because we're living in we've been living now for a while in a society where the fathers are missing from the home.
Wow, so true.
And so whenever I'm dealing with young men, they tend to have a certain level of dishonor towards older men because the person that they saw in authority in the home was a mother, not necessarily a father. So they're more prone to submit to the authority of a mother than a man, because that's what they've been seeing for the past 20 plus years. That has been missing. And so the problem with that is that they don't know how to identify with manhood, because really the only identity that they truly have about manhood, I think, fits in the narrative of sports. The Kobe Bryants, the LeBron James, or in football. So I think identity is the main issue, in my opinion.
You even got fathers that are present, because you got the ones that don't have a father, but you have some that are there, but they're not present.
In fact, study shows that it's worse to have a father that's present,
oh man,
or that's there, but doesn't have a relationship with his son than a father that's not there, but yet the mother is extremely stable.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then statistics show that if you're in a single home, but is a motherless home where the father exists, that's more stable than with a single mother.
So what does that do as in regards to identity?
Well, I think that identity defines to you what the responsibilities of manhood are. So when that's not there, then how do I identify my creation, the way I'm created, the way God made me? I need a male to show me what being a male functions and looks like. So when that's missing, then my identity is from a woman. Oh. And that's a problem because no matter how stable a mother is, and by the way, we give glory and thanks to single mothers that do an amazing job when the dads are not there. Amen. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
We the truth of the fatherless generation is probably growing more and more and more as days go by. But you said something that triggered something in me, which is the word responsibility. So you said that creating an identity or finding an identity is tied to discovering or acknowledging the responsibilities of that identity. Right? Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
On point.
And here, let's do a little church here.
Okay.
All right. And for those of you that are not churchgoers.
Yeah, not all of our listeners go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are not churchgoers, bear with me, but understand the point that I'm trying to make. All right. And I'll make it simple for you guys.
Okay.
So when God creates Adam, the first thing that he gives him is responsibility.
That's right.
What does he do? He sits him down, and I believe, now I'm using my imagination, okay? Don't take this literally. Let's use your imagination. So I believe he sat with Adam, and I believe that Adam, remember, there were no mirrors. So how does Adam know what he looks like? And we know that God made Adam in his image.
That's right.
Right? So I believe that he automatically knew what he looked like. And when he began to have this conversation with God, he now also identified what he was capable of.
Come on.
So in Adam, never existed in his perfect state, in his creative state, never existed doubt, because he was made in the image of that one that was standing in front of him.
That's right.
So when God says to him, give me a second, I'm going to bring everything that I've created as far as animals, birds, all that stuff. I'm going to bring it to you one at a time. And you're going to what? Name it.
That's right.
I don't think that when God, in my imagination, again, I don't think that when God walked away from Adam to bring him every species, that Adam scratched his head and said, what is he, crazy? How am I going to name that? I don't have the capacity or the ability to name it. That didn't exist in him.
It did not.
Right?
Yep, 100% right.
So then I'm saying, okay, so why would God do that? He created everything. Why didn't he name it? Did you ever ask that question? Why didn't God name it? Why did he give the responsibility to Adam at that moment of that task? The only thing that God didn't create in Adam that had to be birthed or inspired was responsibility. And in responsibility,
So good.
responsibility
Go ahead.
equals value.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's drop the bomb from my brother right there on that.
And so when we're talking about accepting your identity, right? You can't separate responsibility.
Come on, bro.
That's right.
Everyone that we come across that suffers from a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment when it comes to dreams, when it comes to resources, when it comes to just every aspect of what we know success is, has embraced responsibility.
That's right. That's powerful.
Those that have not and do not run away from responsibility.
That's right.
So what they're doing is they're cheating themselves as men, right? Because then it becomes an issue of, if you don't embrace responsibility, you don't have value.
That's right.
And not only do you go through life struggling with, I'm not worth it. Nothing happens to me. Why am I not valuable? Because you run away from responsibility, and that's part of your identity.
Exactly.
So my question,
That's so good, dude. That's so good.
so my question to every man that's listening is, when was the last time that you were scared or you were hesitant in taking on more responsibility? And why? So the flip side of that is fear.
That's right.
And I think if there's some ladies listening to this, they're going to, send this over to their spouse or somebody that they know to hear this.
And
great information.
And
Yes.
this is something, these are things that are birthed from a place of wanting to know, who am I? And wanting to know, what's my purpose? Because that's big now.
Absolutely.
Purpose-driven life triggered all of this. Hey, why am I here? What am I worth? Right? But we've reverted to placing that answer in someone else's opinion.
That's right.
When in actuality, it's not about what I think of you that creates an identity and value.
That's right.
And it's everything to do with what I think I'm worth and how I view myself
That's right.
when I look in the mirror of creation.
And how do you place a value to yourself? How do I, when I look in the mirror and I want to place a value, how do I do that? I think that's a good question.
Yes,
right?
that's
a
an
powerful,
amazing question.
Because is it something that comes from within me, or is it created within me, or is it shown to me?
Or even do you take the time to even have this thought process?
Come on,
Because-
Exactly.
unpack that.
Yeah.
Unpack.
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah, because it's one thing to which what Eddie did right now is just so powerful, right or wrong, it was just so powerful. To realize that with responsibility comes value. There's value to responsibility. And so we realize that as men, that is a part of our makeup. God created us in his image and likeness, his image and likeness.
Yes.
So image is a certain form, but likeness is character. It's
Yes.
formation. It's response.
Yeah.
It's connection. It's how I live out my life. If I can say that, does that make sense? So when you see yourself, okay, how do I value myself? I know I'm valuable because I should know that I'm valuable.
Yes.
I like that. If you don't know you're valuable, you should know you are valuable. And if you don't know, then no one's showing it to you. Well, who should be showing us our value as men? Our fathers. Our fathers. So then the question is,
But if you don't got a father,
that's what I was going to go to next. Come on, somebody. I know you're going to come. Come on. So then if you don't have a father, then how do you find your value?
There are many men that have the gifting of picking up where your father left off.
Absolutely.
They're called mentors.
That's right.
There are men that have been gifted with the ability to help men reach adulthood,
That's right.
reach everything and every aspect of what a real man, a functional man, a real man that develops in society and becomes an amazing asset, not just to his immediate family, but for the generations to come.
That's right.
who are these men? Where are they in our community?
Exactly. Well, that's a good question, because depending on where you're at, but luckily in today's society,
Okay.
you can find them on social media.
Yes, you can.
There's so many great men that are doing what we're doing right now: podcasts,
Absolutely.
YouTube videos, and you can find those men. And how you know who to choose is how you gravitate, how you find yourself gravitating to someone that says something, the way that their speech patterns are, the way that their charisma is. There's something about the spirit inside of us that can identify with someone else's spirit inside of them that says, hey, that's what it looks like.
That's right.
That's what I'm looking for.
Eddie,
That's right.
if you ask certain women, they're going to tell you these men don't exist.
That's a lie.
Total lie.
That's a lie. Although
That all men are, go down the line.
they have every right
Yeah.
to say that. It's a lie that has been told and has been said for so long that now it's coming to fruition, where now you can believe it. Because we are now the fatherless generation.
Yeah, that's factual.
And that begins in the loss of father, the absence of a father, right? And then the repetitive habits of that young man or those young men in the community that they live in, and how that spreads, and you have the same results, and I guess we need the women to be here to speak on the other side, because although it's not fair that we have single moms, and I know amazing single moms.
Same
right?
here.
But
Incredible mothers.
a lot of times they've put themselves in a position where they've chosen the wrong man. And in most cases, in a lot of cases, they've chosen boys
Yes.
instead of men.
Because they themselves can't even identify the man.
Absolutely. They don't know what a
don't know
true
what it
man
looks
looks
like
like.
either.
They think that it's a physical thing. Or let's not go there. They think that it's a guy that's productive, that has resources, that has money,
Yep.
that dresses well, that has the house, that has the car, right? And seems and appears to be that they have it together. But if they're void of the basic and essential principles within their character, then when the real issues come up, they run.
That's right.
Not because they want to be deadbeats and they would just want to hurt you. They run because they don't know what to do.
They they don't know because it's never been taught to them.
Exactly.
Let me ask a question right there. Pastor D, give me the tale of two men. One that grows up with that father and his identity, and one that grows up without that father in the picture. You know, what does that look like? And it probably paint a picture of a portion of our society.
Well, I think when you're raised or with a good father, because a lot of people are raised with a bad father.
There's so
That's a
many
whole
different-
nother thing.
Yeah, there's just so many
Yeah.
different angles.
Yeah, to that
Sides to this.
question too,
Yeah.
because I don't think one answer fits all.
Yeah, of course.
To be honest, but what I am able to do my best in seeing is that when it's a father that understands responsibility and value, then he begins to create a foundational understanding of how that really looks like, so that that child is able to see, okay, what is a man first, right? Let's define a man, because a man was a man before he was first a husband. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. In other words,
Yes.
the first thing that God gave man was responsibility, not a woman.
Exactly.
But I think you hit it on the button, Eddie. So a home with the father is there. The first thing that child sees is responsibility. What is a father doing that makes him a responsible man? Right? How is he taking care of his children? Amen?
Yeah.
How is he loving on them? How does he treat his wife, their mother? Okay? Which is so essential. Does he spend time with them? And I'm not talking about watching movies only. In other words, spend time with them, talking with them, and laughing with them, and doing real life with them.
Yeah.
Not only just going to when they play sports, but after sports, even when they lose, what is the pep talk that he has with them?
Wow.
What teaching moment? How does he take
Exactly.
advantage of a teaching moment?
Yes, and that gives that child the opportunity to see that he's also valuable.
Wow.
So and
Absolutely.
watch this. He sees himself valuable because he sees the value of his father. Because his needs are being met. So when your needs are being met,
Come on.
then the value that you see in your dad makes you feel that you're valuable.
Wow.
And you're able to run with that, amen. And so, and it's interesting too, because even with that beautiful foundational upbringing, the child is going to make mistakes. But you know what's the difference? He has hope.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because a good father, when his son makes mistakes, he's forgiving, he's loving, he's merciful, he's graceful.
So that boy,
Yeah.
that son,
Finish the tale. Come on.
now is on the receiving end of what it feels like and what it looks
Go
like
ahead.
to be forgiven.
Yes.
So when he goes through life and he suffers a trespass,
Yeah.
right, or a conflict
That's right.
with his wife, with his children, with his daughter, he can identify and he reverts to that. And he
Yes.
knows what it is to forgive.
Because he's been forgiven.
Let me take us back to high school and middle school. Then you've got the tale of two different, guys,
Yes.
in the locker room, because I played sports.
Yeah.
And I will be transparent and say, yeah, I was the one that on that day when we lost, there was another kid getting to talk from his dad. And I was in the corner alone and didn't know what to do with that loss.
And you had a dad at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're not from a single mom.
No, I am not.
Exactly.
So
that makes it even more painful.
that's painful because you don't suffer just the absence of not knowing your dad.
Right. And for the record, you know, my dad, he's a great person, but I don't know where he was at or what he was doing. I don't know what was happening in his life, but I know what was happening in my life at that moment. Then you see the other kid in the locker room, or when the game's over and you clean up, shower up after the game, and, you know, you're walking out to nobody and the other.
Hard.
So I don't know if that's a metaphor or a picture of what the rest of the life kind of was like. That could be for some people, that are listening.
What's interesting here in that scenario,
Yes,
is that, again, his dad was absent in certain events or for certain events. And
he was irresponsible.
So he didn't feel,
Be nice.
wow, but
That's my dad.
He's true. He didn't feel, you didn't feel that you were valuable enough and worth what you wanted to be worth,
Right.
or feel that you were important enough where your dad would take a couple hours of his long shifts at work to at least come and say, hey, you're worth it. I'm coming to see you.
I'm going to make time.
I'm going to make time.
So you know what happened to me? I can only speak to my situation.
My God.
Now my boys are playing sports. And
you're there.
guess what I had to do to break that?
That's right.
And even though I'd be tired from corporate America, or I'd take that PTO, pay time off, to go be there. I remember we had all three boys on Saturdays. So to be there for all three of them, it would probably be like another part-time job, because I was there from 9 a.m. all the way to like 2, 3, almost every Saturday for the whole season.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That one.
What the statement that you were making with that is,
Go ahead.
you're worth my time,
Exactly.
right?
That's right.
I am being responsible, and in turn, I get a reward.
That's right.
The reward is that I get to see you at your best or at your worst.
Yeah.
But I get to participate in something that you love to do,
That's right.
and I get to celebrate you at that moment. Right? So you're establishing worth without you understanding you are.
Wow.
That's right.
Why? Because you're aligning yourself to responsibility, so you're adding value to yourself.
Absolutely.
So when you get
come on.
you get in the car with the three boys,
That's right.
right? They're so excited that you came, and they want to go get ice cream with you and spend more time with you, versus saying, no, take us home because I want to go to Johnny's house and play Xbox,
That's right.
right?
For right now, you can reach us at team@uncoveredpodcast.org. Again, that's team@uncoveredpodcast.org. Remember, the only way to live is uncovered in marriage and relationships. God bless you, and thank you for listening.
Feeling, baby, no cap. And you stay in the kitchen looking like a snack. But on the real, my life is bliss. And you my spicy uno, I put down that 6. All hands on deck, girl, you know I'm in. I'm gonna ride till I die, cause you know we gon' always be feeling good, just like we should, baby.